Good morning, friends. Today I am explaining a tool which we use in a DevSecOps practice, which detects the vulnerability in the Docker images or containers and also the code files and infrastructure. If there is any vulnerability it detects, it will terminate that. If we add it in a continuous integration and delivery, it will terminate that job and exit the job so that that bug or the vulnerability will not push to the deployment. So what basically Trivy is? It is an open source tool which checks the vulnerability. It is a scanner, we can say, which scans the various bugs, the defects and errors in the code files, the images, so that we can check that it should be deployed or not. It is created and maintained by the Aqua Security. The main function of Trivy is it find the vulnerability in container, the code, and the infrastructure. Also, it is easy to set up. Uh, it requires zero setup and works very rapidly, so that we can eh, do the security scanning without increasing the more time on the CI/CD pipeline. So why do we use Trivy? It detect the vulnerabilities early, means we can use in the scanning pipelines so that once the code is pushed to the GitHub, it will detect the vulnerability, and if it is there, it should not completed the next operation, so that the errors will not push to the deployment. Also, the functions are it scan the images, the file system, repos, then our infrastructure as a code of module files, and also the Kubernetes cluster. And also Trivy doesn't require the required minimum configurations to load, and it is also CI/CD friendly. So with one command only, we can integrate it in a CI/CD. The command for scanning the Trivy image is Trivy dash image and the image name which we need to be scanned. So what are the different uh, where we can use the Trivy for scanning the vulnerability? So the different uses are the container images, the file system on the server. Also, it scan the Git repositories, the clusters in Kubernetes, and also the files configurations file for the infrastructure as a code we use. And then it create the bill of materials such as how what vulnerabilities are present there, the CVEs, and it will send us in a JSON object so that we can create that object and we can send it and review it for the security perspective. And also it will scan the secrets stored there. So in Trivy, how we can do that? We can commit the code or the image to the Trivy server. Also, we can integrate it in a CI pipeline. So whenever the code is container in a continuous integration is checked, it will trigger the scan with an command. Trivy also it also analyzes the dependencies and configurations in the project so that if there is any dependency errors, it will exit the pipeline. Also, it generate the report in a various formats so that it will easy to see and review the logs. And also, it will check that if there is any vulnerability there, it will pass this or fails the pipeline based on that scanning. So the different benefits of using Trivia, it is free and open source, so there is no cost occurred for using the Trivia. It is very fast and it gives in the scanning result in for a large code base in minutes. Also, it will support the various types of code languages, the images, so that it is widely we can incorporate in different types of project. It can in a unified way, and it can be utilized mainly for the DevSecOps practices. So the conclusion is that Trivy provides us the various functions such as the vulnerability detection, and if there is any misconfiguration, then it will detect in early stages. Then also if the secret are pushed to the public repository or the Git repository, it will detect that and block us from sending that secrets to the GitHub repositories. It also create the bill of materials for the scan it created, and also scan the Kubernetes and the IAC clusters also. Thank you.